On a fuel depot lot, a minor adjustment near a tanker's hatch turns into an immediate, uncontrolled burst of fire. A worker stands on top of the massive steel tank, attempting a routine task near the loading port. There is no spotter, and no visible safety harness secured to the rig. The air is still, but the danger of volatile cargo is absolute. As the worker leans over the hatch, a sudden visible spark ignites the vapor. A fierce flame erupts instantly, consuming the area around the port. The worker is momentarily trapped by the blaze, his escape route cut off. He reacts in a desperate rush, turning to the nearest ladder. He scrambles down the side of the truck, narrowly avoiding the growing fire, and finally drops to the ground to clear the immediate danger zone. What seemed like a simple check escalated into a catastrophic entanglement with combustible material. Never ever perform maintenance or inspection on a loaded tanker without strict adherence to hot work permits and bonding grounding protocols. The risk of static electricity or residual vapor ignition is absolute. Safety must be enforced before the first step up is taken. On a crowded urban road, a brief moment of impatience leads to an immediate loss of control from a moving vehicle. A group of people rides unsecured in the bed of a pickup truck. The vehicle is traveling at a significant speed, but one passenger moves toward the rear, preparing to exit before the truck stops. He steps onto the narrow ledge of the tailgate, completely exposed to the risk of the road. In that instant, the truck hits an uneven patch or changes speed. He loses his footing, his grip on the side rail failing immediately. His body is thrown off balance, and he plunges toward the asphalt. The truck continues forward, leaving the passenger behind on the busy street. What seemed like a quick dismount escalated into a severe, uncontrolled impact. Never ever ride unsecured in the bed of a moving vehicle. Passengers must always be inside the cab with seatbelts fastened. Never attempt to exit a vehicle before it has come to a complete stop. Safety is not about speed. It is about absolute stability. At an intersection governed by traffic signals, an act of negligence turns a routine drive into immediate highway chaos. A large dump truck approaches the crossroads, carrying a heavy load of material. The traffic light is clearly displayed and active, but the driver fails to acknowledge the signal. Other vehicles wait patiently, respecting the control measures. The truck barrels through the red light at full speed, attempting to clear the intersection. Suddenly, a white SUV enters the crossing lane, unaware of the approaching danger. The truck driver attempts a desperate swerve, but it is too late. The two vehicles collide violently. The momentum of the truck's heavy load sends the massive vehicle rolling onto its side, spilling debris everywhere. What seemed like a minor time saver resulted in a catastrophic loss of control. Never ever treat traffic signals as optional. Ignoring a red light at high speed creates a lethal overlap with cross traffic. The full weight of a heavy vehicle makes an uncontrolled impact absolutely unavoidable. Respect traffic law. It is the ultimate lifeline. In the controlled environment of a vehicle wash bay, a momentary distraction turns a routine cleaning into a direct human impact. A bus driver enters the automated wash tunnel, removing her safety harness and looking down at the controls. A facility worker is visible just ahead of the bus, operating in the slick, wet guide lanes. The driver's focus is inward, missing the immediate hazard ahead. In a split second, the driver loses steering control. The heavy bus swerves violently, moving directly toward the worker. The employee attempts to evade the sudden trajectory change, but is caught by the vehicle. The bus impacts the person with significant force before crashing into the wash bay structure. What should have been a hands-free process became a sudden, jarring, and completely unnecessary collision. Never ever allow a vehicle to proceed through an automatic wash without maintaining full control of the steering and brakes. Distraction inside the cab, even for a moment, allows the heavy vehicle to become an immediate threat to nearby personnel. Safety demands undivided attention. In the flashing lights of an amusement park, a single car's failure instantly transforms a routine thrill into a terrifying close-contact hazard. The spinning ride, consisting of several small pods, is packed with passengers enjoying the speed. Suddenly, the mechanism securing one of the individual cabins snaps. The specific pod immediately tilts onto its side, crashing onto the platform barrier. Two passengers are violently jostled. As the ride continues its rapid rotation, the compromised cabin drags along the metal floor, turning the outer rail into a grinder. One passenger is caught in the space, pinned sideways as the cabin scrapes along the ground. Operators and other parkgoers rush in, attempting a desperate intervention to halt the rotating threat and rescue the trapped person. What should have been a moment of fun became an immediate emergency due to severe equipment malfunction. Never ever operate an amusement ride without strict adherence to daily inspection and maintenance protocols. All single-car safety linkages must be certified stable. Failure in a single point of attachment puts passengers at immediate and profound risk of being caught in the rotating structure. On a dusty construction yard, a simple turn, when combined with high speed and an elevated load, quickly becomes a catastrophic rollover. It's a routine job site. Heavy machinery moves constantly. A telehandler, forks raised high, attempts a quick maneuver near parked vehicles. The operator, rushing his turn, forgets the fundamental rule of heavy equipment. Speed amplifies instability. He swings the machine too fast, shifting the center of gravity violently. In an instant, the vehicle's massive weight overcomes friction, forcing the telehandler to violently topple over. Crucially, the unbelted operator panics, attempting to flee the cab as the machine begins to tilt. He is ejected, slamming onto the ground right beside the crashing vehicle. His desperate attempt to escape was the most dangerous move of all. Never ever try to jump from a tipping machine. It is never faster than the rollover. Your seatbelt is your only lifeline in this situation. Always respect weight limits, secure your load, and remember that haste makes the hazard absolute. On a busy, wet highway, danger can strike from the most unexpected source, a flying wheel. Two riders pull over beneath an overpass, believing they are safe from traffic. They pause on the shoulder, a space many assume offers protection. But on a high-speed road, the shoulder is still a zone of absolute hazard. Suddenly, a detached tire, traveling at high velocity, spins off the road and slams directly into one of the riders. There's no time to react. No room to dodge. A routine stop instantly becomes a chaotic, unpreventable incident. Never ever linger on a highway shoulder. Mechanical failures are unpredictable. The safest place to stop is always miles away from the active traffic zone. On a narrow balcony, a worker uses a wall-cutting saw without maintaining control. A slip of focus can turn a simple power tool into a dangerous weapon. The worker is slotting a thick wall, completely exposed to the tool's movement. He fails to maintain a firm, two-handed grip on the machine. As the blade binds, the powerful motor kicks back violently. The machine bucks and spins out of control, tangling his feet in a web of cables. He narrowly avoids severe injury as the blade swings wildly past his leg. This chaos highlights the hazard of complacency. Never ever operate high-torque power tools without a stable stance and a firm two-handed grip. Always ensure your workspace is clear of tripping hazards, especially power cords. At an active drilling site, overhead hazards demand constant vigilance. When heavy pipe is suspended, the danger zone beneath is absolute. Workers on the platform are busy, seemingly focused on the task. But one stands too close to the red zone, where loads are being moved above. Without warning, a massive section of pipe breaks free and plummets onto the platform. The falling load strikes a worker instantly. In this environment, an inch of metal weighs a ton. Never ever stand within the drop zone of suspended or stacked heavy materials. Respect the boundaries. Gravity shows no mercy. On a construction yard, blind spots are absolute death traps. When you place yourself near heavy machinery, you assume lethal risk. A worker is kneeling down, distracted by a large steel barrel in the path of active equipment. He places himself directly in the line of travel for a heavy wheel loader. The operator, due to the machine's massive blind spots, has no chance of seeing the man on the ground. The massive loader approaches quickly. In an instant, the bucket slams into the barrel. The barrel crushes, and the force drives the worker directly beneath the machine's tire. The tragic failure to maintain awareness results in the absolute worst-case scenario. Never ever kneel or stop in the travel path of heavy machinery. If you cannot see the operator in the cab, assume they cannot see you at all. Respect the path of travel, or risk the ultimate consequence. Don't forget to like video and subscribe.